Before I begin, let us just have a moment of silence as we mourn the death of our beloved, Murder Mook. Okay. We are gathered here today to mourn the death of our beloved brother, Murder Mook. Murder Mook was found dead at an RBE event last night. Shot 3 times by no other than the Midwest legend, who is now the GOAT, Mr. A-Verb. Mr. A-Verb, wherever you are, wherever you may be, justice will meet you at your door. You will not get away with the slaying of our beloved. You will not get away with what you've done. I hope your conscience is bothering you right now. I hope you don't go a day without rest. I hope that the conviction in you is so grave for what you've done to Murder Mook that you will never find pleasure in making love to another woman again. I hope it bothers you so much for what you've done to this man that you will never look at money the same. Jonathan Acton grew up in the Harlem streets, an educated young man who had dreams of being somebody great. Yes, he wanted to sign with a record label, only to find his talents may have not been that good yet. So he ventured off into battle rap, where he found a light resume of success. Doing this light resume of success that he had, it catapulted him into the arguments of being one of the greatest that ever done it. Until a Midwest explosion hit. And talent from all over the United States came together and entered into this competition that was so vast and great. And young Jonathan Acton felt the need to step back and observe the talent that was coming in the league. This was a smart, wise young man. Just so sad to see his sudden demise at such a young age. As the talent started coming in from all over the world, and he's seen the level of competition escalating year after year. The PGs coming in, the mid-tiers getting better, and the top tiers who never left the game continue to compete with these men. In deep waters. Now see, a lot of you never knew that Jonathan Acton was afraid of water. See, when he was young, growing up, his brother put him into a pond of shallow water. But at that age, he was young, and shallow water was deep to him, and it was coming up to his neck that he had to be pulled out by a homeless man. And ever since then, he was afraid of water. So as the water began to stir up and bubble and be troubled, he didn't want no part of the action. Now, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Acton is a brave young man. So Jonathan Acton, rather than allowing his fears to destroy him, every now and then, he would test the waters and stick a leg in or two, but he would never venture off into the deep. Now, before his demise, a lot of people may have been unaware that Jonathan Acton fell in love with a young lady. And as they began to share deep secrets about one another, as their relationship began to be more intense, all the things that a woman can do to a man. All the things that man allow a woman to know about himself late at night. Some call it pillow talking. He began to explore his mind in her that she may find comfort in him. And began to tell her of all the things that went on in his life and what he was afraid of. And she told him, baby, I need a man of strength, honor, and power. So if you are afraid of your fear, you must face it if you ever think you're going to stand the chance of being with me. The things a woman can push a man into doing when he's not ready. So he took it on himself to just jump out head first into walking up to the most dangerous man in battle rap. Was this a setup? Some think she set him up. And while we are here today mourning the death of one of our beloved, some believe this was a setup. Verb is known to be a woman pleaser. He is known to many as being a player. He has several baby mamas, and in the battle rap community, they know he has a history of knocking down females. That's probably why she's not even here today. This was a setup from the start. I even believe, not to judge anybody. We should not judge no one. But some said this was a setup. So she talked him into facing his fears and diving into the deep without going feet first into the shallow waters to test the turbulence of the waves. So he stepped out on good faith and believing in a love and came up against a man whom he had feared and dodged his whole entire career. Believing that even in a loss, his relationship will still have a purpose, will still mean something. He had no chance of winning. How I wish I would have had tomorrow to warn this young man, to give him words of wisdom and advice. Just maybe, it could have turned him around. Just maybe one word of advice could have turned him around. Oh, this young generation, how they disregard the words and wisdom of the elders. How I wish this young generation would just have respect for their elders. Then tragic situations like this could be at least contained to a minimum rather than so rapidly wiping out our youth. Oh, Jonathan Acton. Jonathan Acton. As I look at this man, I knew his mother. I grew up with his mother. I knew his father. Grew up with his mother and father. So much promises was for this man. He tried doing movies. I even believe he was in a movie or two. Help me out, somebody. What was the name of that movie? Right. Honor Up. Thank you, young lady. Honor Up. Now, I tried to watch the movie. I just couldn't get through it. But he tried doing movies. Murder, Mook. No, he didn't get that name by his face. No, he didn't get that name by being turned down by women. No, he didn't get that name for every time he was hit upside the head. No, he didn't get that name because of his change. But he got that name because he had a light resume in which he killed a number of his opponents. When a child is not ready for war, when a child is not ready for war to go up against killers, you must keep him around the campfire. You must keep him around the campfire Let him learn to hunt first. Let him learn how to draw first. Let him learn how to paint first. Let him learn how to raise squirrels and rabbits and hamsters first before just pushing them out to war. As I sit here and behold this man's body right before me, another one bites the dust. We grieve at the loss of our loved one. Damn you, Aver! Damn you, Aver! Justice will meet you at your doorstep. You will pay for what you've done to our beloved. There's a rage in Harlem. There's a rage in Harlem. And it's rage in Harlem will not cease its cries and screams until you are brought in for justice. That the maximum penalty for what you've done to our young Jonathan Acton is paid off. Even if I have to come out of my own pocket, you will be brought to justice. Now, anybody want to say any last words before we end and close the thing? No? How about over here? No? How about over here? How about nobody? Nobody wants to say nothing? Nobody has no words for Jonathan Acton? Not even the family? Close friends? Fans? Anybody? Nobody has nothing to say? What about up here? Nobody? No? Maybe he wasn't so loved after all. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Rest in peace, Jonathan Acton.